it'd be nice to have a little waiting room because then we could talk a little bit before we started recording. It'd be all like nice
Yeah,
and
if we have
natural.
like guests and stuff, but you still got to hit record at some point. We've been sitting here for like 8 minutes already, just talking about nothing for no reason.
I think that we should
You
have
got
a
to hit
guest again.
record. You got to hit record at
I
some
did.
point. I know that now. You were just planning on talking for half an hour and then
Yeah,
hitting
I
record
was.
like a natural segue. Woo.
Um, we should have a guest again though. I think that'd be fun. I just don't know like
Ye-
who.
yeah, I wouldn't. you, you acted like it's some radical new idea. Who do you want to have on?
I don't know. Like I don't know. We did a Twitch person, so
We did a Twitch person like
no,
together, like we tag teamed them. Like, yeah, let's
no.
do it.
We
What are you
had
talking
a
about?
Twitch person on here. So I don't know. Maybe somebody sciency. I don't know. Like find people who are interested in different
I'm gonna
things.
Google science people who like to talk. That's what I'm gonna Google. Oh, you know what?
Bill
Actually,
Nye.
I got a message last, I think Monday, from on Xbox from somebody who I have never spoken to before. Just like a random account sent me a message, and it said, "Hey, I saw on some leaderboards that you were playing the new Assassin's Creed. Me and a buddy are hosting a panel with like they said up to 20 people who have played it, and we just want to get initial reactions of like the first 20 people. If you're interested, we're doing it this Friday at like 3 p.m. Eastern or like 4 p.m. Eastern or something like that." And I was like, it sounds cool, but I'll definitely be at work to participate.
Oh. Yeah, that does sound like a really cool thing. They're like, this guy is a fucking nerd. He plays a lot of games right after they come
I
out. We should ask him questions.
Yeah, it was apparently going to be some forum with like 20 or 25 people in it who have played the new Assassin's Creed, which I have some opinions on it for sure. Like
Did we talk about that last week or no?
I'm done with it. Yeah, we talked about most of it, but I that was right before I finished it, I think. Because I
Okay.
finished it last week. 100%ed it. It took, I think, 22, 23 hours, something like that. It was definitely not a full video game. It definitely felt like an add-on. But I think other than that, I've already said everything that there was no surprises in it. I mean, it even like the ending even ties into the game that into Valhalla that he was just from. Anyway,
It just doesn't appeal to me. And it like I don't play every single Assassin's Creed game, but I really, really liked Black Flag and I really liked Valhalla, even though I haven't finished it. But I find it really overwhelming, frankly. But
I
I might try it again.
I've played every one of them. I've beaten every one of them except for like some of the side scrollers. I haven't beaten those. Like I know there's Assassin's Creed. Was it China, Russia, and India? I think is one of the three.
No
But
idea.
I haven't finished those ones. Those ones are like side scrolling games, but they're pretty fun. I've played a couple of them, but I just never finished them. But I've finished all the main ones, and this one by far felt like it felt like less of a game than like the very first Assassin's Creed, and that one wasn't very long either. Like, but at
Oh,
least there
what was
was
the
like
first
a lot of new
Assassin's
concept.
Creed?
Assassin's Creed. Like,
Like what was like the story that was that the Ezio one?
no, Ezio shows up in two. Ezio's in two. Uh, what is it? Two, Brotherhood, and the third one. I can't remember what he's in. He's in
I just know
three of
people
them.
talked about him a lot.
It's because he's in most, or he's been in the most games. He was in Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then one other one that I can't remember the name of. But he was in three, or he was the main like protagonist in three of them. But the very first one you play as Altair, which is one of the very old assassins.
Where does it
Um,
take place?
where does the first one take place? I didn't memorize this.
You know, I did play a little bit of the one where you're like in America, revolutionary, whatever.
That would be Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, I played that when I babysat these boys who were really into
That one you
Xbox.
play as you actually play as the uh grandson of what's his face, the protagonist from um Black Flag.
Really?
Yeah, you're his grandson in that one.
That's
'Cause his
so
what's
cute.
it it's something Kenway, isn't it? I
I
can't
don't
remember what his
remember.
name
It's been so long since I played it, but I do
uh,
remember liking the ending a lot because it shows him all, like, happy with, like, his quote unquote "kids" or whatever.
yeah, yeah, okay, so, yeah, so he retires in England, basically, from pirating, right? And he has a son. His son joins the Templars, the opposing faction, and then his
The
son
family
joins
business.
well, they're 2 different factions, and then his son joins the assassins uh in America or the colonies or whatever you want to call them after the son of the pirate gets with the uh one of the indigenous people. I think it's the whole story.
Yeah, I did also play another little bit of a beginning one, I think the Rome one. Is that one?
Rome,
Like the gladiators looking
gladiators. I mean, there's one in
Cassandra?
Odyssey. That's Odyssey. They're not in Rome though. They're
Yeah, I
like
started that,
Greece.
but I
They're
couldn't
Greek.
get into it. I was just like, "Okay."
That one's got a really good story.
That's why I wanted to play it because you said you liked it so much.
It plays nicely because you can choose the female or the male protagonist, and then the other one shows up in the story, which is really nice.
I like that.
But or it's very different from what Valhalla, where you can pick the male or the female, but then the other one never shows up. So it's interesting.
Okay. So, I actually have a story from Austin this week. Like, I made a point to put it in my phone and everything because this happened to me, and I was like, "I have to talk about this on the podcast." Like, it was so fucking funny. Um, so I had to go to Office Depot last week and, buy, like, a new phone for my work. Like, our phone has been broken, so, I got the okay to go get a new one. It was like $100 for a landline. Kinda ridiculous, right? Um but I go into Office Depot and I'm like, "Oh, I'll get some Post-it notes while I'm here," you know? And I'm looking at the Post-its, and even though my job is paying for it, I still try to get, like, things that are on sale or the cheapest things because 'cause I'm not trying to, like, blow my budget. Um, and so I'm looking at the Post-it notes, and I'm standing there for kind of a long minute because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, there's really a lot of Post-it notes to choose from." And, like, I was like, "Why are these ones, like, $8, but these that look exactly the same are $4?" I was very confused by the Post-it note section. So I'm, like, looking at Post-it notes, and this man comes up, okay? And I tried my best to ignore him because I could see him looking at me, but what he did was so fucking funny. He starts, like, aggressively grabbing different packs of Post-it notes, right? Like, I wish I could show you my body right
Like
now.
packs that were like on the wall or
Yeah,
on
like,
the
grabbing them off
shelf.
his, like, shelf display thing. He's, like, aggressively grabbing them, and, like, looking back at me every second or other second, and just grabbing these Post-it notes, like, really aggressively. Like, I was like, "Damn, what do you have against Post-it notes, dude?" But he kept looking at me, and I was just trying to stare straight ahead at the Post-it notes because I was like, "Why the fuck is this man looking at me so much?" And then he, like, does a little bow to me, right? And he goes, "Saved a pack for you," and then just walks off, like, still, like, super aggressive, like, I don't know if he
Did
was
you say thank
angry.
you?
I
Thanks
said,
for saving me one.
no, I did, I said, "Okay, thanks," and then an employee walks over because he had heard him because it was this guy was being so aggressive and loud to these Post-it notes for no reason, and this employee walks past me, he looks me in the eye, he goes, "Can I help you with anything today?" Like, in a really concerned voice. And I was just like, "No, thank you. I'm good." And then I just couldn't help it. I was laughing in the middle of the Post-it note
Oh
aisle. I
my
was like,
gosh.
I don't know what happened in that man's day, but it was such a weird and funny interaction. And I'm used to, like, people trying to, like, hit on me, that making me uncomfortable that kinda way, but no, he just saved back for you and fucked, like, right off, you know? Like, what? I don't know. I don't know, but it made me laugh for a good 15 minutes.
You guys think he was aggressive in any way?
I really wish I could show
No,
you.
that was a question for the audience. I'm pretty sure they didn't get just how aggressive he was, but we'll
I
go
don't know
back
if
and
you
count. I'm pretty sure he was aggressive at least 13 times in that story.
I didn't know how else to say it because, like, if I could show you with my body, like, he was, like, bending
You
down,
can
you
show me
know?
whatever you want with your body. I'm all for it.
But he's, like, bending down, grabbing these notes, like, really quickly and, like, grabbing them super hard and then, like, tossing some back and grabbing some more and just I don't know if he got into an argument with somebody about needing Post-it notes or, like, if somebody cut him off or something, or if he just was bothered by my presence in the Post-it note section. No idea, but 10 out of 10, comedy gold.
It's
I'm gonna
the
think about that
same
forever.
thing. It's the same thing where you're like, you show up and you're talking about something that you're an expert at, and someone just walks in or they're there and they're talking about it, but they have no idea like what they're talking about, right? So you got to be aggressive about it. You got to show them how wrong they are about the subject that you know more than them about, okay? So if you see someone naively picking out the wrong post-it notes, it is your duty to go over there and aggressively get rid of all the wrong choices and leave the only one that is
Okay,
correct.
but
That's what happens.
he picked up, like, at least 5 or 6 or so of these, like, $8 packs of Post-it notes, and I do
Yeah,
not know
the
why they
man
were
knows
$8.
quality, okay? That's what it is. He
Why
just
were
knows
they
quality more
$8?
than you, all right?
And then there was a pack to the left, so it was, like one was, an actual, like, shelf with all these Post-it notes, and then next to it, they had, like a hanging shelf of Post-it notes, you know? So the hanging shelf ones were, like, $4, and they looked exactly the same. There was the same amount of Post-it notes. Were those Post-it notes extra sticky or something? I don't know. I don't know.
He's gonna go make them extra sticky. He's in love with Post-it notes that much.
Apparently. Maybe he was pissed that he couldn't spend time with the love of his life alone.
Yeah, right. He was like, "You know what I need to really spice up my life? More Post-it notes. I feel
Next
like
up
there's
on my
not enough
strange addiction.
stickiness." Mm.
But yeah, that was, like, the main thing that happened this week that I was like, "Damn, gotta
Maybe
talk
he's
about that."
really into origami, but, like, he doesn't know how to show it, so he needs it to stick together with the Post-it part.
I bet Post-it notes would make great origami.
Post-it notes suck as origami. I'll tell you why. Most Post-it notes are not actual squares. They're slightly off, and you can't really tell unless you're trying to make like perfect symmetry, like shapes with them. Second of all, the glue on the backside is terrible for origami because a lot of origami involves folding and then unfolding so you can see the crease or use that crease in a different fold, which doesn't help when they're glued together now.
You know, I just gotta say, when we were in high school and you used to do origami for me, I thought that was the coolest fucking thing.
Yeah, it's not like terribly difficult with
I'm
Post-it
not
notes,
good
but
at
it's
it.
not good with Post-it notes. It is not.
I'm not good at it like normal. I even remember you had like a book of origami and you try to show me how you made things. I don't have the brain for that. Like, you know, some people are really great at visual spatial things.
I
I
I
am
thought
not.
you I realized that because I thought you'd be able to grasp it, and then years later you were like, "I don't understand this," and I was like, "Babe, it's just crochet. I don't know how to teach you. It's
I I
hook and loop. That's it."
still cannot figure out how to make a slip knot. I have to like look up a video every fucking time
I
I
know.
try to crochet. It's
You
so
got
annoying because I'm
so
like,
you
why can't I do this?
the first few days that you had that crochet and you were so excited. We were in Michael's. You were like, "Ooh, look at this yarn, look at this yarn, look at this. I'm gonna need these needles. This is what the book says, and this is what a YouTube video says. These are great." And I was like, "This is exciting. I'll get a new sweater. Like it'll be a whole thing." And then fast forward 2 days later, and you're like, "I don't understand this step." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, what step are you on?" And you're like, "This one." And I look at the book, and you're on
Three.
like step 0. It wasn't even step 1. It was like step 0 was like, "Get it on the hook." And you're like, "I don't understand this." And I'm like, "Bro, like, what are you talking about? You've
And
been here
it's
for 3 days." And you're like, "Yeah, now I'm asking for help." And I'm like,
but you
"All
know
right,
what? Like, it
look,
sucks because I love creative things. Like, I was in art club when I was in elementary
you
school. Like, I love doing stuff,
you
but
have
it
the
just doesn't
creative
come out like
mind,
my
right,
head.
right. You have the creative mind portion, not the creative, like, hands and create like, con ability to construct it. Like, when we were helping your niece with her, was it Halloween thing, like, little diorama last year, and you were like, "We need to make a spider somehow," and I made one out of little, like, black pipe cleaners, and you were like, "How did you do that? That was amazing." And and your niece was like, "Oh, yeah, that's really cool. I've seen a lot of people make these." And
I
you were like,
just
"I don't
can't.
understand it."
And I try so hard is the thing. Like, I feel like people are like, "Why don't you just try?" Or like, "Why don't you do this?" And I'm like, "No, like I will try to the point of tears." And I still can't figure it out. And it makes me so mad because I'm like, why can't I just do the thing?
Yeah, you got the creative brain side of things. I got the creative hand side of things.
Just gotta combine it. Like, do this.
You do this, yeah.
I do.
No, I'm
I
not
still
I'll say
want to learn crochet.
I can do a lot of things, step by step, but, I am not in any way, like, great at all the things that I try to do. If they're small, simple things, I got it. I can fold paper along some lines. But if it's like, "Hey, you've seen other people, play the piano. Can you play it?" Absolutely not. I can, hit some random keys for you, though.
Yeah. Like I like building things. I'm not great at following instructions. I'm just not.
You are the worst at following instructions, okay? Especially when it comes to cooking. I absolutely hate it. It is like the biggest remember like a few weeks ago, you were like, "What do I do that annoys you?" That absolutely annoys the shit out of me. Like, it makes me wanna leave and just go somewhere else all the rest of the night.
That's
It
pretty
it
bad.
this is what happens, okay? You'll be cooking something or, about to cook something, and you'll ask for help, like, "Hey, how do I do this?" And it's like or how much salt do I add to this? Or when do I add the wine to this? Or whatever the question is, right?
Mhm.
And then I'll give you an example. You were making like pasta, right? And you were like, when do I throw the garlic in? And I was like, well, wait till it's about like a little bit brown, and then put in like a little spoonful of garlic. And you were like, got it. And then I turned around and I turned back, and you had the spoonful of garlic, and it was hovering over the pan. And I went, what are you doing? And you said, oh, I was adding the garlic so it could cook longer. Why even ask me? Why ask me when to put garlic in if you were just going to immediately do it anyway? Like,
Yeah, that
you
that is
son of
pretty
a
frustrating, but
yeah,
I think it's
every
also, like,
time I'm like,
my
"Why?
ears are
Why
not
ask me?"
attached to my brain, so, like, it takes me so long to process things sometimes. I'll be like, "Yeah," and I'm, like, waiting.
Or when we were at my dad's for the 4th of July, that was wonderful. That was
Oh my
amazing.
god, but that made
So,
me cry.
it was so funny.
I
I
was, like, mad
everyone
and laughing at the same
everyone was
time.
laughing, and oh my gosh. Okay, so we went to my dad's for this past 4th of July, and he asked me to make burgers. And I just said, nah, I don't want to do it. Right. And we were going back and forth, just kind of joking. And I was about to go make the burgers. And then Ripley butts in and she goes, no, I'll make them. And both me and my dad look and we go, okay, you can make them. Do you know how? and, and you said, yeah, I could probably figure it out. And my dad said, well, we'll just have you start it, and then Jordan will jump in to help you go through the steps. I said, no, I won't, because every time I try and help her with cooking, the same thing happens. Is that same thing I just described? And I told him that, and he's like, no, it can't be that bad. And I'm like, okay, you give her instructions tonight then. And my dad goes, all right. So they're going through it. He's like, make the patties like this, make that, season them with a little bit of salt, pepper, whatever, right? And
Going
then it
well.
gets to everything's going fine. He's giving me like the eye, like, I told you so. Just give her instructions. What are you, an idiot? You can't give her instructions. And then he turns to Ripley and he says, all right, now we have hamburger buns. We all know what they look like. We're gonna toast the hamburger buns. And he looks at Ripley and he says, all right, now butter the buns.
I
And then
cried.
he walks away, and he comes back like 2 minutes later, maybe from, I don't know where he went, maybe the bathroom or something. He comes back and he just goes, "What are you doing?" And and we look over, and Ripley has put butter on the outside of all of the hamburger buns, or like 2 of them. And he goes, "You're supposed to put butter on the inside. Why would there even be the possibility of putting butter on the outside? The outside's already cooked. We're trying to cook the inside now." And he looked at me and he goes, "Did that really happen, or is she joking?" I said, "No, you left her alone for 2 minutes. That's on you." And you You could not handle it. You broke down, like, laughing and crying at the same time.
I was trying
It
so
was
hard.
it was so funny. I I felt bad because you were crying, but I just couldn't stop laughing because I was like, "This
I
is
did
exactly
I
what
didn't know
happens
whether
all
to
the
be
time."
upset or to laugh, and, like, he goes, "This is why you gotta give her specific instructions."
I
And
told him,
your
I was
sister was
like,
like,
"Look,
"Yeah,
you."
everybody knows, duh."
Yeah, my sister was like, "Duh, you gotta give her, like, step by step, show her an example, and then leave the rest to her, because otherwise you're getting butter on the outside of your buns."
Like, I can do it, you just gotta show me what you want, because my family doesn't do that, you know? We don't cook our buns when we make burgers.
Yeah, even still, the even still, like, you've had a bagel before, right? Like, you don't put cream cheese on the outside of the bagel. You don't toast the outside.
You do toast the outside.
You
Toast
put
the
it on.
inside and the outside, and then you put cream cheese inside.
Yeah, but you put it inside so that it does.
God, I almost cried.
Oh, right, just now?
Yeah, uh,
That's still one of the best memories. I love it. It was great.
family bonding moments. And now I know how to butter buns.
Yeah. I don't think that you've tried since then, but I admire your spirit.
You know, it's like
'Cause the ne
like
I think you were like I think you got traumatized by it a little bit because the next time we tried to make, like, burgers at home, I was like, "Alright, do you want toasted buns?" And you went, "Absolutely not." Didn't even hesitate. And I was like, "Alright." You're like, "I don't even like toasted buns. I don't know why they were invented." I'm like, What is this, like, hatred all of a sudden?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna toast
Did I really
mine."
say that?
Yeah, like, you
Um,
you told me you hated them, and I was like,
why am I so aggressive?
"Alright." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna toast mine then." And and then I toasted mine, and I gave you half of it because you were like, "Oh, I'm not that hungry anymore." I'm like, "Sure, have half of mine." You're like, "This is really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I thought so."
Listen.
You got some little PTSD there? Is that what
I don't know. Your dad can be a lot sometimes.
Yeah. You put butter on the outside to be fair.
But his reaction was just so big and so funny.
Yeah, that's where I get it from.
Yeah.
I don't, I was like, "Why are you so dramatic?" I'm like, You put butter on the outside. I don't this is a pretty big deal." It's not a big deal like I care so much, it's a big deal like I don't know how it happened.
So, do you have any stories?
Stories? No, I was off the first few days this past week, and then I worked Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday I didn't actually have too much to do. I was like, "Oh, maybe I can take off a little bit early today," right? And then noon on Friday, I got a message from one of my boss's boss, and he said, "Hey, are you in today?" And boy, did I make the mistake of saying, "Yeah, I'm here. What do you need?" And then he's like, "Hey, swing by my office when you get a chance." I'm like, "All right." So I head over there, and this dude's like, he's a super cool guy. Like I really like, working with him. He's the same guy where we have like slides from like a PowerPoint that we're supposed to present at each meeting, but at the start of each meeting, he's like, does anyone have their computer to pull up the slides?" And we're all like, "No, that's usually like the host job, like your job." And he's like, "Well, we'll just go around and talk then. We don't need the PowerPoint." And I was like, "Awesome, thanks." Anyway, so I go into his office and he's like, "Hey, sorry to do this to you." And I was like, "I don't like where this is going already." He's like, "But this thing happened. I'm gonna need you to take care of it, but basically assigning me something." And I was like, "Okay, awesome." And then he's like, "And I'm doubly sorry because the people it involves that you have to talk to, they're leaving on uh, Saturday afternoon, and you are required to talk to them beforehand. And it's like Friday." And I'm like, "Cool, awesome." But before I can go talk to them, I have to prepare like, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 hours worth of paperwork. So I started doing all this paperwork. I was doing paperwork from about noon to about 5. And then at 5, I had to go talk to these people. So I was talking to them from about 5:30 to about probably 9:30 or almost 10 o'clock. And then I was like, yay, awesome. That's great. That was so fun. And then I had to do it again on Saturday. So I did it again the next day. Where I talked to the same people for like 6 hours on Saturday. And that's pretty much it. And then after that on Saturday, I came back to the hotel from the office and I was like, sweet, I'm gonna go to sleep because I didn't get much on Friday night, right?
Mhm.
27 minutes into this nap, and I get a phone call and they're like, hey, this thing happened. We need your help. And I was like, yay, I'm glad the office is calling me. So I was like, cool, I'll be there. So I go back to the office. I was at the office for another like 3 hours last night. Finally came back. And then this morning was wonderful. You know why? Because I stayed in bed until 10:30 this morning because I just didn't get up. It was amazing.
That does sound really amazing.
I was like, I'm not getting up this morning. And then afterward, I got up and I had to work. But I got to stay. I just stayed in bed. I didn't want to deal with anything else.
Sorry, I need to respond to a text real quick.
How dare you have a life outside of me and everything that revolves around me? I don't appreciate your lack of creative hands in this relationship. Um,
How so?
I don't know. It's just the first thing I could think of. You're always like, oh, let's do these wonderful things. And I'm like, how are we going to do it? And you're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, you had the creative thought part down. I don't know. Boy, I should probably get dinner eventually too. I have not eaten anything today. Oh,
Oh my
that's not
god, at
true.
all?
This morning, well, the same thing with on Friday. I didn't eat because I was dealing with that thing. So I had like, I had like a burger from McDonald's like Friday night. Yesterday, I was working pretty much most of the day, so I had like a sandwich yesterday, like midday. Today, I've had one sandwich. Um, can you guess what was on that sandwich?
What was on it?
Well, that's not very much of a guess, is it?
Cranberry.
No, cranberry sandwich. Oh, it doesn't even sound good. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you the main ingredient was peanut butter.
And honey?
No, I do not have honey. It's a good guess though.
What was it?
Well, you're not very intuitive at this guessing thing. You're supposed to have the creative mind, you know.
I, I gave you 2 guesses.
Two, yeah, cranberries was one of them. I hardly count that as a guess. That's like you looked over and saw the juice on the counter and was like, obviously this was in the sandwich. Like what?
Artichoke.
No, no, it was not artichokes.
You said to guess
What
there's a lot of food
what
in
kind
this
of
world.
sandwiches are you making? You went from peanut butter and honey to peanut butter and artichokes? What the what is wrong
What
with
did
you?
you have?
What- no, I like you guessing. This is fun. Wait.
This cat is just living her best life on this pillow.
So you give it up then.
Giving up on what? Oh, sorry.
The sandwich, you
What
have brain. Oh my gosh.
what was on the sandwich?
Yes, that is the question.
I want you to tell
No,
me. Is that not what's happening? Are we
no,
just
I'm
both
asking you to
guessing?
guess. You're supposed to guess. I know what was on it. I already gave you one of the three ingredients.
Strawberries,
It was not strawberries.
jelly.
No, no jelly.
Then what the fuck?
We-
What was it?
there was
Bananas?
pickles. No.
Pickles?
Yeah.
Look, he sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Can guess you got one more ingredient. I believe in you.
What's that like red sauce you like?
The red sauce I like.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You took a bottle with you.
Oh, you're in the right ballpark.
Is it Cholula?
It was not Cholula, but it was hot sauce, so I'll give it to you.
I'm like
Yep.
trying to think of what I know about you, you know?
Yeah, but the first guess was cranberries. Come on
Yeah,
now.
well, I wasn't really in it at that point.
Yeah, I know. You were staring off at the cat. Yep. So I had peanut butter and pickles and hot sauce sandwich. It was very good. I was actually surprised because I didn't know I had any bread left, but I had two pieces of bread. and I was excited.
Yeah. What are you gonna have for dinner?
I don't have any bread left, so I don't
Oh,
know.
all bread. Um, I don't think I've been eating very good lately besides
You just told me earlier you've been eating good this week.
well, because I realized I didn't think I was eating enough, so I was like, this week I've been, like, consciously eating. And I've been craving Caesar salad, like, every day I just want Caesar salad.
Why don't you make Caesar salad then? Or go buy a big pack of it.
I did make it one night, and then I also had it last night at the Cheesecake Factory.
The what? Why'd you
Sorry,
laugh
I
at it?
laughed because I almost said Cheesecake Barrel again. Um,
Cheesecake barrel. Yes.
and, like, that's I just wanna say that all the time. And then I laughed because I remembered I did that last time on the podcast. Yeah, no, we went to Cheesecake Factory, and my mom, I don't know what's with her because like, she'll be all, like she'll be kinda mean, right? Like, she'll like, "This waiter's taking so long," all this sort of stuff, and at the end, she's like, "Oh, well, it looks like he's got a lot of tables, so I won't take a sip away." I'm like, "Yeah, I would hope you wouldn't," you know? My mom, she'll
Yeah.
talk a good game, but she's the kind of person, like, when my dad doesn't tip enough, like, she'll be like she'll give me some money and be like, "Go put this on the table, don't let your dad see." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
I have the opposite problem where you're just like, is 35% too little? I'm like, no, no, it's not. And you're like, oh, well, I'll put 36 just in case. And I'm like, what do you okay?
I think
Fucking
because
stop.
I work in the service industry, part of me is just like, "I'm sorry for even being here. You're amazing. I have
Yeah,
no
and you're
problem."
like, "Ugh." I've had some bad servers with you, and even then, you're just like, "Well, this guy was spitting in our food, and he cursed at me a few times, so I'm only gonna go down to 15%." And I'm like, "Oh, how fucking terrible of you!" Like,
There's a lot it would take for me to not tip.
there's
I mean
not for me. Like, as long as you're a decent person and like the food comes out, that's all. Like, that's it. But if I don't see you for 45 minutes, even if you have other tables, at least carve out 3 seconds to come by and be like, "Do you need anything?" I'll be like, "Yeah, just some water."
okay,
"Okay."
I
Like, that's
really
it.
think that girl, like,
That's
went
it.
on her lunch or something when she was gonna check us out.
Oh, when we
She
went
was
to,
gone for so
Texas
long.
Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, she must've went on her 10 or something because she didn't come back for a while, and I was like, "Do I just go up to the register and, like, scan my card myself? Like, what are we doing here?"
And I hate it because like, if she had said, "Oh, I'll be back in a little while, like, I'm gonna take my break, like, do you need anything right now?" Like, I would've been like, "Oh, yeah, can we check out now?" But instead, like,
But
we took
even
oh,
then, she had already given us the check.
okay, what the fuck?
What?
So Windows keeps giving I my computer updated, and now Windows keeps giving me these smart recommendation things, and it just pops up a fucking, like, ad basically in the middle of my screen that says, "Try Adobe." Bitch, what the fuck? No.
Yeah, I'd have those turned off.
How do I turn that shit off? I don't
I don't
like
know. Go
that.
into your settings and turn them off. That's what I
It
did.
did it earlier with Bing, and I was like, "Oh, like, it must be because they were like, 'Oh, switch to Bing.'" They do that sometimes, but no, like, it's just giving me ads on my computer. What is this shit? Sorry, it made such a loud sound, it really distracted me.
I see that.
It was like that's why I went, "Ooh," because it went like, in my ear.
Oh my gosh.
My ears have been really sensitive lately too. I don't know if ever like, my family apparently listens to TV way too loud because like, all these
You
fucking
listen
kids
to everything way too loud. I'll be in bed laying next to you and you'll just be blasting something on your phone. And I'm like, are you going deaf? Like, how do you not hear it? I can hear what they're saying clearly. And you're like, oh, is it loud? And I'm like, no shit, it's loud. Like, turn the fucking thing down. And you look at, and I look over and you turn it down like 2 notches from the top. And I'm like, turn it up 2 notches from the bottom. How about that? Like, that's what you should do.
I do have a lot of trouble hearing, but it's more like the processing. Like, without subtitles, I can't understand shit anymore.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, I
what are you guys
can't
saying?
understand it.
Like, I can hear them, and then I'm like, "What?" You know? But it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm only
Hey,
getting
did you wanna
older.
do the intro this week or
Oh, no, and I even thought about it. I was like, "Okay, don't forget about the intro." Oh, can we, like, splice it and, like, put it in the beginning?
No, I'm gonna run, like, an ad right before this, and then just have you do the intro right after the ad. That'll work.
Okay. That engine revving in the background just
Did you
now,
hear that? Yeah,
that was so
he
perfect. It
lives, like,
sounded like a
down the street.
sound bite. It literally
He
sounded
li
like you pressed this like a sound bite on your keyboard or something. It was like,
No, there's just very thin walls, and that guy lives, like, around the corner from the hotel. I hear him all the time. It's great.
he's like, "I am a gift." I have not finished Baldur's Gate.
So the intro, huh?
Oh, hello and welcome back to Mindless Prattle, the show where we talk to you about everything and nothing and whatever else your ears want to hear.
Man, I love
I'm
you. You're doing great. I
what?
immediately forgot what we were talking about because you heard a car rev in the background. Oh, wonderful.
I enjoy you as well. Um, but
Sorry,
yeah,
go on.
I'm Ripley. That's Jordan. We're your co-hosts, and we've been talking for a while now. Sorry about that,
Hey,
fam.
how come you're not my co-host? I thought we established that you're player 2.
Shut up. That's that's so mean. I would
How's
waited
that
for
mean?
years to be player one. I
Uh,
always wanted to be player one.
well, you shouldn't have said yes when I asked you out. That's on you.
Whatever. Ugh,
Either that or you gotta take charge of everything from now on.
no.
Well, then good luck, player 2. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, player two's fine.
Can't have it
I
both
did it all
ways.
my life. I did it
Can't be
growing
like,
up.
"You
It's
know what?
fine.
I'm gonna decide on nothing, but call myself in charge." Like,
I've always
no.
been player two. Why not keep being player two now?
So I got you the player 2 little charm for you, just to remind you.
I do think I want to do some like Xbox gaming or something sometime.
Some what? Yeah, I didn't hear that
Xbox
last part.
gaming?
What about it?
Just like I don't play on the Xbox a lot.
You don't play on Xbox a lot?
I mean, I haven't played a lot of video games lately, but not the Xbox at all.
You sound so sad about it. Are you okay? What's wrong?
It does make me sad, and it's gonna sound so stupid, but it's like sometimes I just think about how there's so many video games out there, and I have a Switch and a PC and a Xbox and PlayStation. And I'm so blessed. I have all these consoles, but that I can't play everything, and I don't have enough time to play everything. And like I'm just gonna die one day, and I won't have gotten to play all of the really good games out there.
Yeah.
There's just not enough
There's
time to play them all.
there's very few really good games, yes, but you will definitely have time to play them. I
That's it's
promise.
like the same thing as, like, makes me sad when I have to finish a bag of chips, you know? Like, they're gone.
Yeah, that is an irrational thing of you, like, not being able to want something to end, I guess. I don't know, like, it's your like, your attachment issues? I don't know. I don't know what you wanna call it, but
Blame it on my parents.
you're attached to the things where the point where you're like, "Oh, I can't let this thing end," and like you just said, it's like, "It's a bag of chips, we can buy more," and then I come back, and I'm like, "Oh, this bag of chips has been open for 3 to 4 weeks. I'm gonna eat the rest, like, the last little bit of them." And then you come home and you're like, "Well, you ate my chips? I was saving those." And I'm like,
Okay,
"Wow,
but
we
okay,
have
to be
another bag
fair,
of them."
when you ate those cheddar and sour cream chips, I was really upset because I was on my period and I all day long, I had been thinking about that bag of cheddar and sour cream
Oh,
chips. I was like,
sure.
"That
Yeah.
sounds like I'm gonna eat the shit
You
out of
just
that when I get
happened to
home."
notice that it was missing when you got back
And then
because
I got
those
home and it
chips
was
were there for
gone.
3 weeks. They were there. It had been sitting there.
Yeah, I think I would like mini bags of chips better. Like, I like
Mini bags of chips.
because I can get another one, I can finish that little one.
Oh
It's a
my
good
gosh. How
portion.
about you just finish a bag of chips and then go buy more? Like, that's it. That's the whole story. That's it. You're not living in
They don't go
poverty,
on
as
sale a
evidenced by
lot.
all of your entertainment systems that you just
Well,
named.
you bought
You
half of
can
them.
buy some chips.
The only thing
Bought
I
half of the
bought was
chips.
my PC and my Switch. You bought everything else.
I thought you bought that Xbox. I don't know.
No,
But
that's not the purple one I sold to my sister, and you gave me your old one when you got the new one.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
You bought the
yeah.
PlayStation.
Remembers. Yeah, but we bought the TV. Actually, mostly you bought the TV, so that's on you.
Yeah, but that was like Black Friday. We moved here and we won that Super Bowl or that
Well,
ball
it
game.
wasn't we. They landed on your initials like 2 out of the 3 times we won.
Yeah, I was just super lucky that day, I guess.
Mhm.
And they were all pretty far apart. I was like, "Yeah, this looks good, and this looks good." Going off vibes, I had no clue what all the numbers on it meant. I just said, "I like that square."
I like that square. That one's a little off. Oh, let me pick this
Yeah,
one.
pretty much. Like, "Ooh, that one's a little crooked. I'll take that." You know? Ugh,
Yeah. Anyway, I think you should just buy chips if you would like chips, and then eat all of them,
I could do that, yeah.
and then go to the gym, and then get more chips.
You know what? Therapy can only do so much.
Yeah, but the gym and chips will make it better.
The gym and chips will make it better.
Well,
What's
if
that,
you
like,
stick
thing on
with
Reddit?
only chips, it's gonna be real,
What's the thing on Reddit that they always say now? Because that one guy, it's like, hit the gym, delete Facebook. I can't remember what the third one is, but people say it to a bunch of things now. It's like become a big meme. They'll be like, delete your gym, hit the Facebook.
Delete it all.
But I can't remember what the third thing is. Is it like get a lawyer or I don't know.
Find some more chips.
Find some more chips. Ugh. I'm so excited.
Like,
Okay.
you're terrible with it to the point where, like, even things that you really like or things that you need, like, not even chips, but mainly food you're bad with. Like, I came back one time and I was like, "What is this?" And you're like, "What? That's the garlic powder." And I'm like, "There's, like, less than, like, a teaspoon in here." And you're like, "Well, I didn't wanna run out." "Excuse me? Go get more. What have you been doing?" You're like, "Well, I just haven't been using it because I didn't want it to run out." So you've just been depriving yourself of flavor for the past who knows how long because you didn't wanna go buy more garlic powder? Like, what is wrong with you?
You know what's so funny though? Like you talk about stuff like this, and I'm just like, yeah, I guess I could be autistic.
You say it out loud and it sounds bad. It's weird. But in my head, I don't wanna lose it.
I just don't want to go to the grocery store.
It's like less than a minute drive. Come on
I just
now. You
don't like
pass
the
it on the way
environment.
home. You go there all the time. You don't like the environment, nothing. It's a nice place with nice people.
I even like I had the thought the other day that I would really like to go to like HEB and like just shop, and like look through all their fall things
Do
and
it.
like try to relax while shopping. And then the idea is also just so at the same time. Take my
Nah, it's
AirPods or
it's
something.
it's great going into stores and just fucking around while you're shopping and stuff. Like, Walmart's good at it because you can just walk around and see all the random things that they have, and you're like, "I don't even know why they have a Super Mega X bouncy ball number 3, but I'm gonna test it." And then you just
Honestly,
chuck it, and then
Walmart is everything
security
that's wrong with America.
comes after you, and you're like, "Whoa, I've only been here for 4 hours, sir. I'm not leaving yet."
Okay.
What's the longest amount of time you spent in a Walmart? Like,
Uh,
consecutively?
Probably like 2 hours.
2 hours? What were you there for?
I used to go to the McDonald's and the Walmart in Vegas a lot with my friends, like,
That is a
walk around.
slow McDonald's first, but that is not in a Walmart. You're just at a McDonald's that happened to have chosen poorly life.
Yeah, okay, so we'd spend, like, an hour at the McDonald's and spend an hour walking around the Walmart and, like, buying Play-Doh and shit.
Buying Play-Doh. What a
Yeah, I
life.
don't know why. Me and my friends always got Play-Doh because it was, like, 50 cents, you know? So
Yeah,
we'd
it's
go and
super
buy, like,
cheap.
6 different Play-Dohs and just have a
You
great fucking time.
you and your friends did very different things at stores than my friends did.
What do
See,
you
we
your friends do?
we'd be at, like, a store, and we would definitely were not there to buy things. We were just there to fuck around because we didn't have anywhere else to be. So even there was, like, a home goods store, like a furniture store in the same town as my college, and we were there. I don't know why we were there. I think oh, no, I remember. We were going to a movie, but the movie didn't start for another hour. So we were like, well, one of us read the time wrong. What do we got? What's there to do around here? And we went down the hill, and there was this giant home goods store, and we were like, well, we could just fuck around in here for the next hour. And literally, that's all we did was like stack chairs in like random ways, and then top them all over like they were dominoes. And then people got mad at us because their chairs were too expensive for wooden chairs. I think that's all we did for like an hour and a half.
I will say Chelsea and I spent a lot of fucking time at Target.
Yeah, I know. That's why you get such a hard on for it.
Well, no, well, actually, it's kind of a sad thing, but my parents, when they used to fight, my dad would give me, like, 20 bucks and be like, "Go to Target." And I would just stay at Target for, like, 4 hours, and I would grab some food at the food court and then go walk around and shop by myself like a sad little, 14, 15-year-old, and then he'd text me, "Okay, come home," and I'd walk home.
Yeah, and I'd walk home, didn't even come get you.
Yeah, he had bigger problems to deal with at the time, so
That's what they wanted you to think. They were like, "Let's pretend to fight, give her some money, get her out of here," and then we got the house to ourselves for a while.
no, like, it was bad at the time. But
Sorry for trying
I
to make light of it,
loved
alright?
Target.
Whatever.
No, listen, I always would go to Target and get, like, a little hot dog and a drink, and then I'd usually have enough money to go buy something from, like, the $3 aisle, and I don't know, it made me happy.
Did you
Target was my
know that
babysitter.
Did you know that, was it Trader Joe's is the most successful store per square foot?
No, I didn't, but it is a lot smaller than most stores.
Right, they have the most sales per square foot. I think they what was it? I think it's they earn $2,800 per square foot of, like, real estate, this and that, and, I was looking at this, and it's like they make more than Target and Walmart, like, like, their space that they take up, and I'm like, "Huh, interesting." But they also said that the average salary of the people who shop exclusively or regularly at Trader Joe's is 88,000 a year. I was like, that makes sense.
I want to be the kind of person that shops at only Trader Joe's. Like,
Why? Trader
it's
Joe's is
just so
nothing but
busy.
expensive organic shit that's always busy. Yeah,
Really?
it's
I don't
their
think it's that
own.
expensive.
It is expensive. The average, I guess more facts. The the average person spends $49 on 10 to 11 items per trip. Like, that's a it's crazy. Like, why are we spending that much on all that stuff there?
Yeah, and we're like couponers usually.
And they
Like, we're
nothing
doing okay,
crazy is
but we're
there,
not,
but like,
like, not buying things on sale, okay?
well, it's not even that. Like, certain things I'll buy that aren't on sale because they're just normally a decent price. Like, pasta is like $1.30 for a box of pasta. If it's on sale for $1, sure, I'll buy some, like one or two extra.
Yeah, it
But
goes on sale all the time too.
right, but like, what is it? Like hamburger, like ground beef is like $6 a pound, and then it goes on sale for $4 a pound, and I'm like, absolutely not. And then it goes on sale for like 250 to $3 a pound. And I'm like, okay, maybe, but I'm not gonna buy it regular price. I'm like, that's crazy but $6 a pound. I'm like, that's what I buy like steak on sale for is $6 a pound.
I should have a steak.
You should have a steak.
I wonder if it would thaw out really quickly.
Those little ones should. A
Yeah, I
little
need to, like,
sirloin.
have real dinner. I had some leftover rice and stuff from, my mom
Yeah.
had us buy everybody, what is it? Panda Express the other
What
day.
should oh man, Panda is super expensive now too. For not a lot.
57
Yeah.
for 6 of us.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Panda Express has gotten expensive too. Like,
Yeah, I don't normally go there. I can't justify because even their bowls are, like, $10+, and I'm like, "There's
yeah,
barely
that's
any
what I'm
food, and I
saying.
could
And
make
it
the
the
same shit at home for, like, way cheaper."
right, like, it used to be like, "Oh, here's a $6 plate, you got a bunch of rice and a bunch of noodles and then 2 big portions of meat." Now it's like $12 and you're like and you get the same thing. I'm like, "It's double the price for a okay amount." And you're like, I don't
I
really
think their
know
bowls
about
have
that."
gotten smaller. I've always gotten them because I just like white rice and teriyaki chicken, but their bowl, like, the design of it changed, so it's more of like a square size, and it goes, like, in the middle, and I think it's probably a smaller portion they're giving people
Yeah, I think so too. A lot of places are doing that.
because it used to be like a big round bowl.
Do you still have that white rice from the other day when we got Chinese?
No, the white rice isn't very good after more than, like, 2 days.
Right, but after 2 days when it's stale, you can make fried rice, and it's really good for fried rice. That's what I was gonna
Oh,
say. You can make fried rice out of it if you're wanting that tonight.
oh,
Like
I
some
didn't know
steak fried
that.
rice. Yeah, that's what they use. The best rice to use to make fried rice is stale white rice.
Really? I thought you just cooked it and then left it in the fridge for, like, a day.
I well, yeah, but it's still stale rice.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, you leave it there. If you cook white rice and then leave it for a day or just have stale white rice, it's same thing.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
Nice. What should I do for dinner? I'm gonna let you decide now. First thing that comes to your mind, go.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. Yes, I will go to the potato store,
Do you still have those
get
instant
potatoes.
potatoes?
You want me to have one packet of instant potatoes for dinner? You're like, I'm gonna make some rice and some steak, maybe a side of some green beans. Why don't you have some instant potatoes in a bowl? That suits
Yeah.
you.
I was just
Thank
remembering
you.
that story about the potatoes.
Yeah, so I don't know if I told that story on here.
I don't remember.
But I'll give the little shortened version. Anyway, I came back from the store and I bought in a couple packets of instant potatoes because I was like, I can make this pretty easy. I can just heat up some water in the microwave and then mix it together and have mashed potatoes. So I'm putting groceries away and I pull out like all three of these packets and one of them falls and I guess it hit the corner of something, the dresser maybe, I don't know. But it hit the corner and it landed on the ground and I was like, crazy me, oopsies. And I picked it up and some of the some of the potatoes came out the back and I was like, well, I haven't eaten today. I guess I'm having potatoes. And so I made the whole thing. I ate the whole thing and then I looked at it and I was like, boy, this says 4 servings on it, huh? Did not to read that beforehand.
Dang.
I just had 4 servings of instant mashed potatoes that day.
Okay, I was so disappointed with my food at Cheesecake Factory last night. So I really wanted like garlic mashed potatoes, but I would have just settled for like good mashed potatoes. So I get this like chicken, potato, green bean dish thing. It was just okay. The chicken was okay. The sauce was juicy and like kind of flavorful, but like nothing to like write home about. Um,
Who does that? Who is that still a saying? Write nothing to write home
it
about?
feels weird as I say it too. I'm
Like,
like,
no one I'm not
people know
writing
what that
home
means.
about things. That's just not something that happens
Nothing to
anymore.
text your friends about?
Nothing to call my mom about.
Like, nothing I'd make a TikTok about.
Yeah, people make TikToks about anything though.
I like that aspect of TikTok because I try to be really real on TikTok. I know a lot of people, like, use a ton of filters and, like, they're very edited and stuff, and I'm like, "I'm talking about my book. You're gonna see me in my living room talking about my book if you're interested in it." Can I share something with you that made me so happy? So I
Yes.
made a little TikTok video about, like, my book if it were an aesthetic, and 14 people have bookmarked it.
If it were what?
Like, what the aesthetic of my book looks like, so, like, images that would, like, represent my like, the world in my book and things like that,
Oh,
trying to make it
yeah, I
visual.
think I've seen that. Have I seen that one? It sounds familiar.
I don't know if I showed it to you,
I don't know. Maybe I've just
um,
seen some pictures.
but I'll send it, and it just but, like, 14 people wanna know more about my book.
Yeah, and all the podcast people, because you promised them October, and it's now October.
No, I said I had to push it back. It's not done.
No, 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 no. We are not a AAA video game company, okay? We don't just push deadlines arbitrarily, all right? We
I
stick to
just
them.
only have 60K words.
Is it really faster or, like, cooler to say K instead of just 1,000?
I just like saying 60K.
Yeah, I know. I just a lot of people just start saying things that way, and it's very interesting to me that K became 1,000 instead of just
Yeah,
saying
and, like,
1,000.
1
You're like,
syllable instead
"Okay."
of 2.
1 syllable instead of 2 because 'cause you're saving so much time, but you sound a lot less cool.
$1,000,000.
Yeah, like, but why is K the only one that we use? Why don't we use the other identifiers? Why is it only K?
I don't know the other ones. I don't
Exactly
even know
my
where the K
point.
came
Why do
from.
we use K to
It
identify
just sounds
thousands?
nice. God, sometimes I think about the fact that I have millions and millions of dollars in GTA and I just can't play because 'cause it's been ruined for me.
Uh-huh. Like,
But my club was very successful, I'll have you know.
yeah. Like, do you even know where the K comes from? You're just using K.
No, that's why I said I don't know where it comes from.
K comes from kilo. It means 1,000. It's Greek. We're using the fucking we're using the metric system to describe thousands of things all of a sudden. Like 60K feet. And you're like 60 kilos of feet. All right. Like what? Million is M, and I think billion is G, I want to say. I can't remember. Hold on, let me look. Yep. K is kilo, M is mega, which is a million, and then G is giga, which is billion. But still, we're gonna walk around. Every time you say it now, I'm just gonna remind you where it comes from. You're like, I'm at 65K, and I'm like, wow, you got 65 kilos of words. That's cool.
Mhm. Call me Lana Del Rey.
What?
She talks about doing drugs a lot in her music.
Ah, yes, a reference that I definitely understood and knew about. I don't know what it is, but like every once in a while, I can just barely hear you. Like you've backed away from the mic, or the mic just decided, nah, she's not worth listening to. I don't know what it is.
I just
See, like even there, like the I came through very loudly, and then it was like I just like okay,
that's weird 'cause I'm really close to the mic right now, actually.
yeah, but you're not great with steady volume, so.
Yeah, volume control is not my thing.
Which just sucks for your microphone, because your microphone tries to adjust to your volume. So if you speak like the first word loudly and then get quieter, it's already like adjusted for it. So now you're extra super quiet.
It's like,
Like,
pick a
well,
tone.
pretty much, yeah.
I have been playing The Sims. I wanna play more Sims today, but I gotta make myself put that laundry away first because it's not
Yep.
getting done.
You might want to take that stuff out of the freezer if you're going to cook it too.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta do that.
Well, it sounds like Ripley's running out of steam this week because she threw away her steamed
Yeah,
rice instead of making
life
fried
is
rice
just
with it.
it's
Um,
overwhelming this week.
I know. It was so difficult. You had to like see your family a bunch and then pick out a wedding dress. It must have been terrible for you.
That was actually so freaking fun. Like,
Exactly my point.
the
Thank you.
friends I picked to go with me, like, they really hyped me up. They were all about at one point, I was everybody kept talking about how much they liked this one dress, you know? And it was, like, fine, but it just wasn't really for me. And at one point, I go, "Would you guys be mad if I picked this dress?" And every single one of them goes, "No! What are you talking about?"
I told you you would do that. Like I told you not to do that, in fact. Like I specifically warned you not to do that.
So I picked the one I liked.
That is what I told you to do. Yes.
And it was the first one I found. Like,
Ugh.
it attracted me immediately. Like, I looked at it and I was just like, "Yeah." It was like when I picked out my glasses. I was like, "Yeah, that's it. That's mine."
Yeah. Can't decide on what you want for dinner for 6 hours, but you walk in and you're like, that one there, I'll wear that dress for a really important day. It'll work out.
It's so beautiful. I hope you love it.
Nope. Can't hear any more details. Sorry. And that's going to do it for us this week. Hope you had
Thanks for
fun.
listening.
I know we did. If you did enjoy it, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share with a friend, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You almost forgot your line there at the end.
I gotta say that every time in that same voice.
Yep, it's your trademark now. No getting around it.